So, rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis, the main pathology is synovial cell hypertrophy. Which is the joint most affected? It is the wrist, MCP, and PIP. Wrist, metacarpophalangeal joints, and PIP. The most important joints most common joint involved is the metacarpophalangeal joint. Okay, so what are the risk factors causing rheumatoid arthritis? The HLA involved are HLA DRB 104, 101 and 113. The HLA 104 is the third hypovariable B chain of QKRAA X5 fold, five folds increase risk. The HLA DRB 104 third hypervariable beta chain QKRAA is dependent on this 104. This causes five-fold increase in the risk, and causative agent is 104 and protective agent is 113. Environmental risk factor is smoking, increased in ILD, increase in PAD14, and silica cold worker silicosis and cold worker pneumoconiosis can be associated with RA, and that is known as the Kaplan syndrome. Emphysema, firstly emphysema occurs and then ILD occurs. It is known as the Kaplan syndrome, that is RA plus pneumoconiosis. It is due to the IgA antibody against the FC of IgG variable heavy chain, causing the upper lobe nodule. Okay, so all our upper lobe occupational lung diseases cause upper lobe involvement except asbestosis. So environmental factors which affect rheumatoid arthritis are smoking, silica and cold worker pneumoconiosis, alcohol, and OCP. Alcohol and OCP are protective. Polymorphogingivitis, that is chronic periodontitis. Chronic periodontitis increases the risk. Pregnancy decreases the risk because of IL-10. So these risk factors and protective factors interact with each other and they cause abnormal protein modification. What is the abnormal protein modification? Citrulinization, that is arginine is converted into citrulline, and carbomylation, that is carbomoyl group is added. That is controlled by these genes PTPN22, PAD24 and CTLA4 and APOM. All these genes control the citrullinization of the proteins from arginine to citrulline and carbomylation. Abnormal protein modification leads to Langerhans cell formation, that is myeloid dendritic Langerhans cells. These are stimulated and then T cell activation occurs. Th2, Th1 and Th17. All the three Th cells are activated and Th1 and Th17 causes interferon gamma and interleukin 17 increase, and secondary B cells are also stimulated by the myeloid dendritic cells, which are against the abnormal citrulinated modified proteins. And after this, the immune cells are activated. These secondary B cells moves to the joint spaces, and macrophages which are activated act against the type A synovial cells and causes hypertrophy of type A synovial cells. These cells convert into fibroblast like synovial cells or macrophage like synovial cells. Fibroblast like synovial cells are VCAM and CD55 positive, and macrophage like synovial cells are CD68 and HLA-DR positive. These produce TNF alpha. This TNF alpha causes the formation of PANAS. This TNF alpha causes rank ligand and rank activation, which causes osteoclast to activate, degrading, causing resorption of the bone. And this inhibits DKK1, which causes osteoblast inhibition, resulting resorption of bone more than formation of bone. This causes periarticular osteopenia and secondary destruction of cartilage and loosening of the ligament. This TNF alpha causes the periarticular osteopenia and secondary destruction of cartilage and loosening of the ligament. This loosening of the ligament and destruction of the joint space and the osteopenia, it causes rheumatoid nodule. Rheumatoid nodule is therefore made up of the 40% granulomatous. In 40% of these rheumatic nodules are granulomatous because fibroblast cells, macrophage cells are present and TNF alpha is being produced. So granuloma formation, and this granuloma is bad prognosis because very much immunologically active, and these rheumatic nodules are pathognomic of the because it is 100% rheumatic factor positive. It is mostly present in the elbow more than the finger and decreases with treatment. Sometimes methotrexate can cause paradoxical increase and indicates increased disease activity. Whenever the rheumatic nodules are formed, that implies the increase in disease activity. So, we are coming to the management later. First, we will go for the clinical features. The clinical features of rheumatoid arthritis, it is firstly chronic inflammatory seropositive rheumatoid arthritis. This is the most common presentation of rheumatoid arthritis, which is 60%. Joints mostly involved is just wrist, metacarpophalangeal joint and PIP. So, metacarpophalangeal joint is the most common joint involved. Proximal interphalangeal joint is involved, and wrist joint, that is distal radioulnar joint, is involved. Cricoarytenoid, temporomandibular joint, C1, C2 atlantoaxial joint, these are involved. Tendinitis and synovitis and bursitis occurs due in the joints involved. Tendinitis, synovitis and bursitis. This is the first thing which is going to happen because of the citrulination and carbamylation. Firstly, the T cell and B cell are getting activated, and then this first inflammatory response is happening. This is the tendinitis, synovitis and bursitis. Here also we have seen secondary destruction of cartilage and loosening of the ligament. So these firstly forms the pseudo deformities before the formation of the true deformities. The pseudo deformities are formed by there are three pseudo deformities. That is the zigzag deformity, that is the most common joint involved, that is the subluxated metacarpophalangeal joint. Metacarpophalangeal joint is subluxated and the carpal bone is rotated. Carpal bone is rotated here and the metacarpophalangeal joint is